That's right, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Driving Maul on Loud Radio, where blokes judge rugby. Sharky, good afternoon.
Fantastic, how are you?
Mate, I'm just so worked up about what's coming on Saturday.
I want to go to sleep and wake up on Saturday morning.
I know, but I'm going to have to record the game and then maintain radio silence for the better part of 2 hours because it's my kid's school concert and it's the little one's first ever, so there's not even an option of bailing on it. Which is, I will punch people in the mouth if they try and update me on the score. I want to watch it like I don't know what happened.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Funny, talk about kids plays and stuff. My daughter's play has been moved to the 5th of October and I was supposed to be at Ellis Park watching the game. Cancel that. I shall
Fair enough.
I shall be staying.
Lots to talk about. The first thing we're going to get into is club rugby and the Community Cup, etc. We're going to be chatting to Dwayne Heath, the project manager from SA Rugby for the Chelsea Community Cup. Let's get him on the line. Somewhere. There. Doot, 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 doot.
Hello.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Don from Driving Maul. You're chatting to Sharky and Don on Driving Maul on Loud Radio. How are you today?
Fine, thanks, Don. Fine.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to chat to us, Dwayne. You're the project manager for SA Rugby for the Chelsea Community Cup. It's heading into year 2 next year, and lots of developments over the recent weeks as the seasons wind up across the country.
Yeah, Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Perfectly, mate.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's things are already reaching a climax now. In a number of provinces, we've got 5 more qualifiers to go, and it's been quite an exciting season, sort of around the country, with results making for some very exciting leagues.
And then, I was having a look at the 10 sides that have already qualified as champions, as the qualifiers of their respective unions is the word I'm looking for. Obviously, Dispatch, the defending champions, are back. College Rovers, who were runners-up, are in as well as Brakpan, who finished 3rd. And then Roodepoort, who finished 7th. And then there's 1 or 2... Bloem Crusaders are coming back, but they're coming back as the top finisher rather than the wild card they were in 2013. And then a few first-time qualifiers in Centurion, Hammies from the Western Cape, and Pharaohs from Pumas.
Yeah, it's actually been very interesting. The two major casualties have been from the Blue Bulls in Western Province.
That's right.
Durban, who finished 5th this year, and Pretoria Police, who finished 6th. They've both fallen out, and like you say, have been replaced by Centurion and then Hamiltons, who I think are very excited at the prospect of playing in the competition. And as I'm sure everyone knows, I think they're going to not only make up the numbers, but I think will be very strong title contenders.
Yeah, look, for Sharky and myself as ex-Hammies boys, it's quite exciting, to be honest.
You're half a village boy, so you keep quiet. Dwayne, Sean here, but good to chat to you again, and thank you. I just wanted to just touch base in terms of what's happening with the wild cards. Obviously, everyone would expect that the next best open team would qualify, but from what my understanding is, you guys, the wild cards are exactly that anyone can get it. And the clubs putting through proposals in order to get the wild cards? Have they been sort of decided which regions they'll go to yet?
Yeah, look, it's very clear. Last year, for the first year of the competition, it was open to any club in the Premier League. This year, it was decided that only the second best open clubs in each province were eligible. Okay. So that's just to accentuate the strength of the teams. And of course, there is a proviso that in provinces, because we have to have a situation where every province is able to nominate a wild card. And so in those provinces where the teams that finish second are ineligible, then the next best team gets nominated, just to allow for every province to be able to nominate a team. And then, yes, the unions and the clubs have been asked to supply written motivation as to why they should propose it.
Just a little bit off. Defending champions, Dispatch, would they get an automatic entry into do defending champs get automatic entry into the next competition, or do they have to qualify as everyone else?
It's written into the rules that should the defending champions not finish as their province's top open club, then they can be invited, or they will be invited as defending champions. So essentially, yes, the defending champion is guaranteed of going back the next year.
That's good to know.
And then what I wanted to ask you, just how many wildcard spots are up for grabs? What have we got? 15 unions.
Yeah, 15 unions. 14 unions plus Limpopo. So we're expecting around 13 nominations, 13 or 14 nominations. The only province that we don't expect a nomination for this year is Free State, because there are only 2 open clubs in their top division, and Bloem Police are ineligible this year. So we've got most likely 13 or 14 nominations coming in, and there will be 5 places open.
Okay. All right, cool. Look, I mean, in terms of the Western Cape, it's getting quite interesting, because obviously Hammies have been declared they've guaranteed second spot in the league, but Tygerberg, Belhar, and Belleville still have a game to go each, and any one of those 3 could actually finish in 7th spot and be the best eligible open side in the province, which it makes for an interesting couple of weeks coming up.
It does. It makes for a very interesting couple of weeks. I was joking to the Hammies guys that this year they can sit back and put their feet up and watch the other teams having the bun fight for the wild cards. But yes, I mean it was very much. I hoped at the beginning of the season that we might get a situation like this, where at the end of the season, where usually these games are dead rubbers, suddenly now there's some real stakes involved, and any one of those 3, Belleville, Belhar, or Tygerberg, depending on those last 2 games, they could sneak it. I think Tygerberg are probably in pole position.
Yeah,
they need 2 points from their last game, which is at home. But Belhar have struck a rich vein of form, so it should be very interesting.
Yeah, because Tygerberg have to play Belhar, and if Belhar win that and pick up a bonus point, then they'll go above them, and then it's down to Belleville closing a huge gap in terms of a points differential.
Yeah, I think it might. Bonus points are going to come into play here because Tygerberg have 28 and the other 2 I think are 24. So anything could happen really. I mean, you could have a situation where Belhar just need to win that game without a bonus point, and they could even sneak through. So it's going to come really right down to it. Which, in terms of me as a impartial observer, I'm finding it very, very interesting.
Dwayne, so just in terms of the 2014 Community Cup, where's the event going to be held, and when? Is it going to be pretty much the same as last year?
Yeah, the format's going to stay the same for next year. There's 52 games. There'll be 40 matches in the pool stages. So we'll have, again, 4 pools of 5 teams playing two games at home and 2 games away each. The competition starts on the 8th of March. The pool stages will carry on until the 5th of April. And then we'll have the Easter weekend, the Easter Championship playoffs, again in George, for 1 more year, from the 17th to the 21st of April, which is the Easter weekend.
Okay.
Awesome. And then, just out of interest, Dwayne, I mean, in terms of SA Club Rugby, is it in a healthy place? Are we seeing an increase in numbers or a decrease in numbers over recent years? Because obviously this has got the attention of a lot of ex-club guys floating around all over the world that still follow their clubs, and certainly to see Hammies in there, and I'm sure it's the same across all the regions with guys that have played in those competitions.
Yeah, exactly. I think at this stage it's just anecdotal evidence, but with me having covered the club champs, sort of every club champ since 2003, I've seen right from those sort of dark days where in 2004, 2005, when no one was really interested in club rugby at all, and in the club champs, I've seen the upswing in interest, and a lot of the provincial CEOs and club rugby managers have told me that this year their particular provincial Premier League has been hotly contested. There's been loads of interest, and the guys have very much known what's at stake, and they really want to get into this competition. So I think it's a good start for what the competition had in mind, and I think now we just got to build on that.
A little bit off the Community Cup and more into club rugby. Obviously, the TV side of things is key, and will build up club rugby throughout the whole country. Did KZN were the last really to do it, where they were playing where they were playing warm-up games to Super Rugby games and Currie Cup games, and Western Province did it some time ago. Could we possibly see that coming back? Do you think the guys would be interested in that at all?
Well, you're right. TV is key to the whole thing. We had a good start last year. In the first year of the competition, we had 13 games live on TV, of which 12 were during Easter. Next year, we are cautiously optimistic of getting a few more live games and then building on that. But TV is, yes, definitely the key. And then, I would like to see a situation where, a year or 2 or 3 down the line, we've got sufficient interest back in club rugby that we could possibly justify, going to the broadcaster and saying, well, let's broadcast some more, club rugby during the season, which is really where a lot of these really big matches are taking place, and especially, if you look at the Super League A or up north in the Golden Lions League, you've got big open clubs playing against varsities, which of course you don't see anymore. So that, I think, is quite an attractive product.
Awesome. Dane, good luck and enjoy the rest of the season in terms of figuring out who's going to be the wild cards, and then obviously the whole selection process and the drama that's going to come with that, because it always does in sport in this country. When people miss out, there's all kinds of ramifications in terms of vitriol and rhetoric. But awesome endeavour from SA Rugby in terms of getting this competition going. Just from, as I said, from a fan's perspective, we thoroughly enjoy it. So thanks so much. And the one thing I did want to chat about, I see that you've managed to get the Gold Cup into the Springbok Experience launch on the 24th of September.
Yes, I'm very happy about that. When we set about a year ago trying to figure out which trophy we were going to give out for this competition, the Gold Cup came out of nowhere, and I think it was the right choice. And the fact that it's now been chosen as one of the very few trophies that are going to take part of place at the new Springbok Experience, I'm personally very happy about that, and I think it's going to allow a lot more people to see the trophy, and just through that, learn a bit more about club rugby and its diverse history.
Dwayne, I'm very fortunate enough to be with the trophy when you came through to Hammies with it, but just for the guys listening, give us a little history on the trophy, please.
And the Gold Cup it's shrouded in mystery. It was made in England, what we can ascertain, about a century ago. It was originally made for an air race, an intercontinental air race between London and Cape Town, which never took place. And the trophy disappeared for decades, and then rocked up in 1960 in Cape Town. And the old South African Rugby Football Federation bought it from a jeweller's in Darling Street, and they used it for their interprovincial competition. And then down the years, right up to 2002, around it was used in an interprovincial the old Merit A competition. And then it was lost for 7 years. It was found in 2009, and it's been literally taken out of retirement. And after the Currie Cup, it is the most valuable trophy in South African rugby. It's almost a kilogram of gold.
That's an awesome story. Thanks for that. That's wicked.
Yeah, I fortunately knew it. So, but Dwayne, that's amazing. So we've got 3 unbelievable trophies in the country. Obviously, with that, the Currie Cup, and then is it the Moore Cup they play for in Durban?
Yeah, Durban is very lucky. They've got 2 very historic trophies. They've got the Moore Cup and the Murray Cup.
Yeah,
the Murray
I
Cup,
couldn't
of course,
remember which one
over the weekend, and that's 123 years old. And then the Moore Cup. Also, it's got a fascinating history. It was lost. It was also presented for the first time in the late 19th century, and then it was lost for almost 60 years. And then one day, somebody rocked up on the doorstep of one of the Natal officials and said, "I found this trophy," and it was the Moore Cup that had been lost, for nearly 60 years.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing.
Incredible. Dwayne, Heath, thanks so much for chatting to us on Driving Maul on Loud Radio. From my perspective, I really do hope the Community Cup goes from strength to strength, and looking forward to seeing who the final qualifiers are for next season's competition. And all the best for the remainder of this year. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for the support. Much appreciated.
Cheers, Dwayne. Thank you.
Cheers.
Too much going on there. Did we just use
It's
up all
just
our
the
credit?
maths.
Jeez, we were about to run out of airtime as well.
Sure. Well, that was amazing. Actually, Dwayne, I arranged with Dwayne and SA Club Rugby to get the trophy down to Hammies. It was actually a Hammies SK Warmers game, which was we
lucky it left.
Yeah, we arranged for it to come through. Obviously, being quite a historic game, in those two, and Durban being contenders for the cup, for a place in the Community Shield, and it was great, and to listen to Dwayne chat about it and everything. He's a good man. He's the right man for the position as well. So
that story's awesome. Just in terms of
what is with us and losing Griffin. It's not like we just lost this one. We happen to lose another one down the road as well.
Where in the world, and particularly in South Africa, do you lose a kilogram of gold and then find it again and it's still intact?
And then give it to someone. That's the key. It's the fact that it hasn't turned into someone's earrings yet. Right.
We covered the club rugby now. As we know, Marties are champions. Hammies have got the Community Cup spot and are guaranteed second place. There are a few games to go still.
Hammies aren't guaranteed second.
No, it's done. Oh, no, you're right.
No, UCT have got a game left and they're 4 points behind. So they can obviously take that. And UCT have got SK on Saturday at the track, which is a tough place to go. UCT struggling a little bit to kind of maybe motivate themselves to play for anything. In actual fact, they can't compete for the league. They could possibly fight for second. SK Warmers have got it all to play for. They need to. Oh, they don't because they can't qualify.
It's a non-event.
Yeah, so it's just basically bragging rights, and SK don't like losing at home. And taking on
the big game Saturday is Tygerberg Belhar, because Tygerberg can seal the Community Cup wildcard spot for the Western Cape.
I actually might take a little wander down and go watch the game. I think that's going to be well worth it.
And then if Belhar win that, Belleville will have an outside chance next week Wednesday against Vix,
which is in Stellenbosch.
Yes.
Oh, tough one.
Anyway, moving swiftly along from local club rugby onto European club rugby, and is the Heineken Cup assumed to be a thing of the past, Sharky?
But judging by what I've read online, and this Google Translate's been an absolute champion, but translating French to English is another story altogether because it can't even do that properly. But the president of the I forget the acronym, but the French Rugby Union, whatever they're called, is as basically said, I'm not threatening the European Rugby Union to tell them that we're not going to be part of it. I'm telling them we will not be part of it. They've come to an agreement, and I believe that England are on board as well. Are not going to be playing in the 2015
Heineken Cup.
2014. That's next year, actually.
This could be the last Heineken Cup in its current format.
Yeah, they're basically his justification for it is England and France go through proper legitimate qualification processes where they're two countries that don't.
Yeah, essentially, and there's no threat of relegation in those countries either, so they rest their sides for the Heineken Cup once they're actually playing in it, never mind the qualification, etc., etc.
So it's been quite interesting. That can I tell you now what that'll do for Scottish rugby and Welsh rugby and possibly Irish rugby. I think Irish rugby maybe they might be able to integrate into the UK, but Scottish and Welsh rugby will hurt. That will affect them because they will lose their players. Their club rugby will drop. It's going to be
interesting to watch it. We'll keep an eye on it. Aviva Premiership kicked off this weekend, and after talking him up as the big name signing for the season, Welsh winger George North promptly went and dominated the carry stats in the opening weekend, making over 100 metres with ball in hand in the Northampton Saints 38-11 thrashing of Exeter.
Massive. We're only really talking about him, so thank God he did something else. We were looked a bit stupid, but pretty decent one. There are a couple of other stories which I'll touch on after you're done. But that was the only real talking point. The other major thing that went down, there were two big results in the weekend for me. The one was Sale Sharks beat Gloucester away from home, which was a big result. I was discussing last week whether it was a derby or not, and I was a bit interested to see what had happened there. The other one, the first game of the season, Bath went to Newcastle to take on the Falcons and promptly beat them 21-0.
Yeah.
Which
register an egg.
Correct. To score a 0 in a rugby game is almost impossible.
Yeah.
But other than that, the results were pretty much as we expected. Leicester Tigers beat Worcester 32-15.
Laboured to that win, though.
Yeah, it wasn't massive. It looked better. That scoreline looks better than what
I think it was two last-minute tries.
Yeah. London Irish hosted Saracens in a doubleheader at Twickers. London Irish lost 42-20. Saracens obviously securing a bonus point win. Gloucester Sale, I mentioned that Sale won that. Northampton beat Exeter, which we discussed. London Wasps and Harlequins. That was very interesting. The scrums, obviously bearing in mind that this is the England's sort of first week of using the new scrum laws, so the refs have got to get used to it, the players have got to get used to it. A lot of reset scrums, very scrappy game. Harlequins were exceptionally lucky to get away with a win there. The man with the biggest cone over, the skullet, what's his
Andy Good
had a flipping
good, not great.
Yeah, he had a flipping good game for Wasps. Scored a try. He didn't score, but they scored in the last minute. He needed to convert to win the game and missed it.
No.
And it came off the upright.
Oh,
it was
It's like Ruan Smith in the in the playoff game
Correct.
for Cheetahs.
And actually, I've never really liked Andy Good, but I felt for the guy. But tough game, and Quins easily could have lost that. They'll be exceptionally lucky to get away with the win there. So.
Couple of big injury stories that came out of the weekend. Tom Croft out for the season with a knee injury, and Tom Vondel out for
bicep tear
with a bicep tear.
Yeah, Vondel's out plays for the Wasps. He's out for 3 to 4 months. So, and they need him, and that's a big loss for them. Tom Croft, everyone knows who he is, and he is a massive loss for Leicester, and massive loss for England. Yep. He misses the Six Nations, and he might miss the end of year tour as well. He's torn his ACL. And it's quite bad. It's I feel for him, and they're actually discussing it on Twitter today. A couple of the journalists and a few of the supporters and stuff trying to figure out who's going to pick up the slack. And there's talk that they're going to try and bring Dylan Armitage back from Toulon.
Yes.
Because he doesn't qualify. He won't play for England if he's playing in France. They won't select him.
No, totally.
And they need him.
Yeah.
Right now they need him.
What it meant is obviously Saints, Saris, and the Tigers picked up bonus point wins, so they are 1, 2, and 3, and then obviously the 3 other wins for Bath Sale and Harlequins. It's early days, so we can't read too much into the log. And given what's been going on in the top 14 in the Currie Cup, good luck figuring that it seems to be it's going to be the season of what the hell happened there. Games this weekend, Friday night, Harlequins Saints. That should be a cracker.
That is going to be an absolute humding, and just judging by the way the guys started, I think Quins are going to be going to have a hard training sessions this week to sort themselves out.
And then also on Friday, Sale versus Newcastle. Saturday, Exeter versus Wasps. Worcester versus London Irish. Bath versus Leicester. That should be a humdinger as well. And then Saris Gloucester on Sunday should also be right up there.
That's going to be a cracker. I think if you kind of had to pick the games before last week was these matchups now are going to be pretty tight for most of them. So good luck on Super Brew.
Yeah, well, talking about good luck on Super Brew, I'm so glad I'm not playing top 14 because A, I don't know anything about it, and B, I keep looking at the results and going, surely that's not the right way around. For the fifth week running. Just some news that's come out of there. Obviously, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, but Sean Smith has officially joined Toulon on a 1-year deal as a medical joker is the term that they used.
Really?
In other words, they're taking a punt on him with lasting a season.
Well, just off the topic, but you'll see that Lottie Takiri's also signed for Leinster 3-month deal.
Yeah, well,
how's that for rolling the dice?
He's 33 and past it.
Apparently doing well in league in Australia. So
sure. And then reports starting to float about that Maul Nonu might make himself unavailable for the All Blacks and join Clement Auvergne.
Is that before the Saturday?
No.
That's a pity because I'm a bit worried about that youngster this weekend.
On to the results from the weekend. Montpellier 25, Toulouse 0. What the hell is that all about?
I watched that game. I called it 20 minutes into the game. I said Toulouse would be lucky to get anything out of this game. They really looked nowhere. Montpellier was solid. I called Montpellier in the beginning of the year to be one of the top 14 sides, and I was questioned by someone who obviously knows more than me, and I still stuck to my guns.
I think it was Simply Sean and Gary Baverstock had a full crack at you about that.
Yeah, they did, and I'd like to have a sort of
Just
find out how they feel about it right now.
Take a snapshot and send them the league table.
But it's crazy. Yeah, that was again to not score points, especially for a side like Toulouse when they got McAllister and a bunch of guys there that are very handy.
No, totally. I couldn't believe that scoreline.
They were nowhere in the game. When I say they were nowhere, they didn't deserve
it was like 25-17 or 25-20, you'd be like, all right, must have been a good game. But 25-0, it's just being owned. Biarritz lost 24-13 to Toulon at home. Brief beat Bayonne 17-10. Grenoble beat the Bordeaux Beglers 21-14. And then Oyonnax, they just don't stop.
Yes. Actually,
they beat Castres 19-9. They've now beaten the champions, the Heineken Cup finalists,
champions, the Heineken Cup finalists, and the top 14 champs.
Let's just step up to the plate and have a crack, why don't you?
Oyonnax have been pretty decent. They're actually and all those wins that they've got have been at home. And it's turning out I was also reading another article, and they're saying that their home ground is a fortress. Obviously, last year being promoted, they maybe were unbeaten there. I don't know what's with the French in their home grounds. These guys are unbelievable. So, because Toulon also had a 38
match fixing.
Toulon had a 38, a 50-something run or 48-something home-winning run. Clermont on a 62 at the moment.
Yeah, in all comps, and it's frightening. But that didn't help Clermont this weekend because they were away and they lost 23-16 to Stade Francais.
It's irrelevant. I watched that game as well. The Stade Francais looked pretty solid. Clermont really didn't look in the game. It's so weird how the French sides blow hot and cold, and I was kind of giving them...
Not weird, it's just bog standard.
Yeah, this is actually very true. And I was kind of giving them little high fives last week, saying they've got such big squads they can rotate and still perform, but two sides didn't perform. And the other result was Racing Metro hosted Perpignan and beat them 19-16. And yeah, Racing Metro needed that win desperately, so...
And it's still, at 5 games in, so it's still early doors in the competition, but there are 5 points between 8th in the log and top of the log.
Yeah, crazy.
So one big win. In fact, it's 6 points down to 10th and 7 down to 12th.
Yeah.
That's just diabolical. Anyway, games this weekend. Perpignan play Montpellier on Friday. Castres Toulon. That should be well worth a watch if you've got the time at 3 o'clock. Sorry, 12:55. It's either that or watching the RG's barge the Wallabies.
Just reminds me of Sean Blaney.
And then Bordeaux play Oyonnax, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Oyonnax pick up a win there.
That'd be a great result for them. I think the Castres-Toulon games can be pretty decent. Castres in a bit of trouble, and Toulon haven't been firing on all cylinders, but still pretty handy away from home.
Clermont, Grenoble, Stade Francais, Brive, Toulouse, Biarritz, Bayonne, Racing, Metro rounds it all off. Where are we?
Time for a song.
Yeah, we have to take a breather. We're going to come back after a little bit of Billy Joel, and then we're going to chat ITM Cup, Ranfurly Shield, Curry Cup, and then tear into the Rugby Championships. You're listening to Driving Maul on Loud Radio. Chat to you soon. Welcome back to Driving Maul on Loud Radio. Time to chat a little bit of ITM Cup and Ranfurly Shield. Well, actually, really, we're going to chat Ranfurly Shield because the ITM Cup's still in its early days and I haven't really been paying much attention to it because the Shield has just been ridiculous. The travelling circus continues. After Otago ended their 56-year drought and held it for a total of 9 days before Hawke's Bay claimed it after a 44-year drought, only to relinquish it just 6 days later, the shortest reign in the history of the Ranfurly Shield.
They still had it.
Yeah, sure. Counties Manukau had never won it. In their 58-year history of their province, they'd never held the Logger Woods.
Yeah.
They claimed it. Tana Umanga, their coach, over the moon.
Subsequently banned for 2 games.
Yeah, I heard all kinds of caca.
Yeah, he's been abusing the touch judge. But it's cool. I'll sit on the bench for 2 weeks. It's okay.
I've got the shield.
He never actually won it as a player.
I know. Yeah. It's radical.
And neither did Brown. Tony Brown?
Yeah.
So we've had 2 ex-All Blacks coaching, winning. I thought that was quite cool. I don't know if Brown didn't hold it though. But I'm not
I
sure.
don't think he did because Otago hadn't won it for 56 years and he only played for them.
Look at you, eh?
No, check that out. Although he might be 56 years old. they have to defend it against Taranaki on Sunday, who themselves only lost it less than a year ago to the Waikato Chiefs, who lost it to Otago earlier this season.
Incidentally, Taranaki are the worst performing side in the ITM Cup this year.
Well, the counties aren't doing much better. I don't have the logs, so I can't prove that.
I'll get it for you now.
The Naki got thrashed 51-15 by Auckland on the weekend, though, so I'm probably going to go with that one. But, yeah, what it means is there's another Ranfurly Shield Challenge up with a new holder on the weekend. And the thing is, the point I'm saying about that is that the Shield seems to bring something out in teams, because counties have been playing pretty average most of the season as well. I watched the game of theirs a couple of weeks back, and they got absolutely owned by the Bay of Plenty, I think it was. I stand corrected. Anyway, so yeah, the Shield is alive and well. Awesome. Love it.
The thing I love about it is if you ever want to hold that shield, you've got to go somewhere else, to someone else's house, and take it away.
Kick their front door down.
That's the thing that absolutely blows me away. Like, you've got to fight. You are so scared to lose it because you're going to lose it on your own home ground.
But never mind that. You can only go there if they say you can come and have a crack.
But have we figured out what the rule is in terms of how many times you've got
to defend it a certain number of times in the season, and you can only defend it at home. But you can also nominate which games you're defending it on. I think you have to defend it on your first one, and then thereafter.
I was wondering why it was being moved so quickly, and that makes sense. Okay,
I'll double check it for next week, but I'm pretty sure you're obliged to defend it on your first home game after you win it. Because your fans want to see it as well. Stick it in the cupboard! Just some results from the last week. Wellington beat the Bay of Plenty. Taranaki beat Hawke's Bay. As we said, Counties got 27-24 over Hawke's Bay last weekend.
We are going backwards because that Wellington Bay of Plenty was today. So just for the guys listening.
Yeah. And...
So basically what we're sitting at is Taranaki are playing in the Premiership division, which is the other division, and have won 2 out of the 5. So they weren't as bad as I thought they were. I
found out about the cross conference thing. You know how in the Currie Cup in the old days you were obliged to play 2 or 3 games against the B division pre-season or halfway through the season? It's the same kind of thing. You get to nominate what games you want to play against, much like the Shield, but in terms of just to keep the competition up there.
Here's a question for you, but it's going to go to someone else because I don't know if you'll be able to answer it. Let's say, hypothetically, Taranaki win it this weekend. Okay. Does that then and they don't play any other Super A or Championship sides, can someone in the second division then win it, and then they'll start circulating amongst them? So then it goes into
counties are in the second.
Yes, that's what no. Yes, they are. So, and then what will it stay then in the second division? Could counties play like a second division side, and that side could win it as well?
From what I understand, they have to nominate at the start of the season which teams they want to play in the cross conference. They have to play like 2 or 3, so it's already predetermined. So that the opportunity's there. But if you
and they will obviously put the Shield up in that game because they're in a lower division.
But now, if you're in a lower division and you haven't nominated to play against Canterbury all season, and you've played your 2 games against the top opposition, and now you're holding the Ranfurly Shield, you could potentially hang on to it for the season.
Nice,
yeah. Anyway, on to the oldest provincial competition.
I'm sorry, but Wellington are in the B division, the Premiership division, and Wellington have been on fire. They played 6-1-6. I know we keep saying we're going to find out
more. Dude, the rugby's outstanding in New Zealand,
okay.
I think the league thing has got just about nothing to do with it. I think
all about the Shield.
The quality of the teams is there or thereabouts across the board, and it is all about the Shield. On to the Currie Cup. Rory, the biting Aussie, has been cleared of biting after getting a 7-week ban, and it was overturned on appeal.
Can't believe that.
Go figure.
Absolutely. It's just...
Let's move on to the positives.
Okay.
My moment of the week. Dion Fourie gets cited for contact to the eye region of Keegan Daniel. Keegan Daniel sticks a tweet out on Sunday. Just to be clear, Dion Fourie did not gouge my eyes. He's not that kind of player.
Yeah.
End of story.
That's what I actually saw. And I actually spoke to one of the medics that helped Keegan out on Saturday. King Daniel had blurry eyes for about 5 minutes. I think the only thing that was going to go against Deon Fourie was the fact that he went back to push him in the face. He was I don't think he was going for the eyes, but his finger caught him in the eye.
Yeah.
He was going there to push him down. So I think that was probably going to work against him. But the thing is, it remains is how does the sighting thing work out? And it doesn't come from the Natal Rugby Union. The Natal don't.
Ek weet nie, oom.
I don't think the
I haven't
Sharks
been able to
sight.
figure out the sighting shit for the last 10 years, and I don't think I'm ever going to worry about it. And it's such a lottery in terms of you get a 7-week ban, you don't get a ban. Some players get a 5-week ban, another 8 gets off scot-free for exactly the same thing. It's just it's a lottery and it's a circus.
Either way, Deon Fourie not going to be playing this weekend because he's got a rib injury from Nomstad.
Yeah, he's injured.
Yeah.
But let's get on to the results, because I remember someone smirking last week about being top of the log, and now I find that they're not top of the log anymore.
That's fine. Well done. You won. Well done. The Sharks were nowhere. They didn't deserve to win that game.
I know, but I just...
How's your bonus point structure looking?
Yeah, dude. Let's get on to that, because it's the third time in 5 games that Province have scored 3 tries inside 60 minutes this season and no bonus points for tries. Never mind that. Here's a stat for you. In their 5 games, in the final 15 minutes, in other words, the 5 games Province have played in the Currie Cup, the scoreline in the final 15 minutes is a 15-3 loss, a 10-7 loss, a 5-0 win, a 14-3 loss, and a 14-0 loss.
Yeah.
Right? So clearly they're closers. They can't score bonus point tries and they can't close out games properly, which has resulted in 2 draws and fortunately no losses, but no bonus points. Now, if you consider, let's just say they pick up the bonus point try in those 3 games, which by all rights a team should do when it's got 3 in the bag after 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So you can add another 3 points on, which makes it 19 for Province. And
Puts them 14. It puts them 4 points off the second place.
And that's the 19. Never mind the fact that if they'd got the tries, they wouldn't have drawn against the Lions or the Bulls. So add another 4 points, which suddenly they're sitting on 23 points, and the Sharks were an 8.
Yeah, the Sharks would...
Province should be gone and done and dusted, and anyway, they're not. And
also those sides, the Sharks would have been on 14 because they wouldn't have got the losing bonus point, but then obviously the Bulls would have not had drawn 2 points out of there. They would have been... It's crazy. So basically you're extra shit and you're messing everyone around.
Yeah. The Bulls bounced back from 2 consecutive losses to beat the Cheetahs 26-10.
Well,
wrecked my Super Brew. Andre Pollard kicked 16 points at the boot. But let's get on to the Griquas Lions game, because Griquas were robbed. Anthony Fulmink had a foot outside of touch, never mind on the line, going for his try, with the TJ looking straight at it and the ref right there, and they give it. And at the end of the day, that 7 points for the Lions resulted in them winning the game 38-32. And it was not even maybe he didn't stand on the line.
just non-negotiable.
No, bollocks. It's just, and it's becoming too much and too prevalent. And at SA Rugby refs, do not answer any of your tweets when you ask them valid questions about what's going on. Not even being aggressive or abusive or insulting, just asking questions. Answer my fucking questions!
Oh, no. Email.
Yeah, it's getting there. Anyway, Province do sit top. Sharks are second by a point. Lions are third. But there's 8 points between first and sixth, and it's all still open for the semi-final spots because there's only 4 points between fourth and sixth. This weekend, Cheetahs play the Lions, Griquas play the Sharks, the Bulls play Province. Imagine that the Cheetahs are unchanged.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah. For the Lions, CJ van der Linde is coming in at prop, with Jacques van Rooyen dropping to the bench. Philly Beppener will be starting ahead of Robbie Coetzee, while Piers Roux makes a return to SA Rugby at tight end.
He was playing for someone in France, and I can't think of the name right now.
And Warwick Tecklenburg has been promoted from the bench. The Sharks also look pretty much unchanged. Imagine that. Tim Whitehead's actually going to make 2 weeks running. SP Marais impresses me as well, and it was a great fight back by the Sharks as Province fell off the game, because let's be honest, the final score there was 25-19, but I think Province were 25-3 up with 20 to go or 30 to go.
The sides are very aware of this. I mean, they know that Province are going to drop off at the end, and all Western Province need to do is just basically kind of just turn that wheel a little one notch more to get those extra points on the board. But they're going to lose games soon that they should be winning, and it's going to hurt them.
Yeah. But The biggest news of the weekend is the return of the PSD.
Yes. Good man. All done.
Pieter-Steph du Toit is back from after 3 months out with a sternum injury and couldn't come soon enough in terms of Heineke Meyer's plans for the end of the year and moving forward. It's awesome.
I agree.
The Bulls, I know they've made a few changes. One of them was enforced by the fact that Ruan Snyman in the week decided to sign for Montpellier and has disappeared already. So he's dropped. Rudy Page
Dropped.
Rudy
Left.
Rudy Page starts, and I don't know what else is going on there.
I see.
Luan Jacobs comes in on the bench at scrum half, and from what I've seen of him in recent lower competitions in South African rugby, he's an impressive looking little halfback. Province Taz Fuzani is going to make his debut after 6 or 7 games in the Vodacom Cup side.
Tigerberg boy.
Possibly. I stand corrected. Nizam Khan might be the Tigerberg boy that was in the article that Jobson was talking about. But
Nizam Khan's a UCT boy.
Anyway, Taz Fuzani on debut at lock alongside De Kock Steenkamp, who is captaining Province in the absence of Dion Fourie, who is out injured. But what I do want to talk about is how is the pass from Scarro and Tabeni for Jean de Jong, and then the finish by de Jong in terms of the spatial awareness of being in the corner and the line and being turned and twisted and lifting his feet up and whatever he did. That was it was a thing to behold.
It was pretty decent. It was Scarro impresses me week in and week out. That kid's brilliant, and he just to go back through to Taz. Taz was born in Newtowneg, went to school at Belleville and UWC.
Yes, sorry, that's right. He came through the ranks with Peter de Villiers. Yeah. That's where he was spotted and nudged to Dobson for the Vodacom Cup earlier this season.
Yes, that's it.
There we have it. It's time for the second leg of the double-header down under.
That's oh man, I can't wait for this game. And I tell you, well, let's rather have a look at what we did to Australia.
Last weekend because all I can say is wow. The Boks molested the Wallabies at Suncorp, in particular Israel Folau.
I was just
they molested him.
They did. I just there was two things. I've been sticking up quite a bit for Quade Cooper recently because I believe that he, like everyone, even the South Africans are jumping on this whole like hate Cooper bandwagon. Like all I got your complimentary Australian passports in the bag or something. But you can't expect, and I'm saying this now, and I mean like Will Genia getting dropped this weekend as well, and I'm going to support him as well, is when our forwards were taking care of their forwards and their 9, 10 and 12, you can't expect those players to do anything. So how can we be jumping down there?
No, absolutely, Sharky. Look, I'm not detracting from Israel Folau's skills. The simple fact is the Bok pack was just unbelievable. Zeelam Nel wrote a piece in the Cape Times earlier in the week. He said the Bok pack was so dominant that Francois Lowe, Dwayne Vermeulen and Willem Alberts had time to stop for a soda on their way to each breakdown without fear of being beaten to the ball. And that's pretty much how it was. And the game plan, and I mean, we were chatting to Robbie Kempson last week. I kind of alluded to it. And Heineke Meyer, it's the way he plays his rugby, and you've been seeing it start to come to the fore this season. 60 minutes of grunt up front.
Keep Skop and Dorner.
Yeah, and pick up your penalties on the way through, and then open the taps once they're dead on their feet. And that's exactly what happened. 59 minutes, it was 19-12. We picked up one try from Koenie Oosthuizen from a line-out move.
Yeah.
Early in the first half, and then it was trading penalties for 60 minutes, and then we just blew them off the park. 3 tries in less than 9 minutes. Philly LaRue, the brain and the skill on that kid. The Zane Kirshner, everyone worried, concerned, did nothing wrong in the whole game, except maybe the showboating dive that nearly butchered the try.
He did his job, and he did it well. And he did exactly what Heineke Meyer expected of him. And the balance. And did you read that piece that James Small wrote?
Yes.
Wow.
And I only read that after the game.
So did I. I only saw it, and it was almost as if he had written it after the game.
No, totally. No,
he put a great piece together. Just I actually can't remember where I saw it, but just
myplayers.co.za.
Yes, just Google James Small and My Players, and you'll read what he has to say about Zane Kirshner. Kirshner was phenomenal. He didn't put a foot wrong. He did everything that was expected of him. He joined the line at the right times. Very, very happy with his performance. I was just bummed. The Aussies are.
Australia.
Yeah, there's no maybe. You know what the thing is? Ewan McKenzie's had no time to spend with the side. He basically picked up a side that were beaten, thumped, jailed, killed. 2 games into New Zealand. Thanks for coming. I get a week and a half with the guys to try and sort them out. We got to South Africa. Maybe we can hold it together. No, you can't.
Yeah, but I mean, as an Australian fan, can you imagine sitting there right now? Can you imagine just this is the situation if you're a Springbok fan and it's happened this way around, right? 3 games running at home, you've shipped 42 points on average per game.
Average. Just say it again. 42 on?
Average.
Oh.
In their last 3 home tests.
Hanneke Meyer would not be there anymore.
No, but fortunately Robbie Deans was half of 1 game of that and Ewan's the other 2.
Yeah, McKenzie needs some time. And I think it's only natural that the guys are going to be going for him. Like, no one's ever going to say, listen, it's okay to get a thumping in the Rugby Championship.
Robbie Kempson alluded to it last week. The Aussies are going to struggle because they can't perform their dark arts in the scrum where they were winning penalties and taking the piss.
It's going to be...
And they got smashed.
And McKenzie's an ex-prop as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Aussies do at the end of year. Because I think this year... he could be heading to Mud Island with not 1 win under his belt.
Mornay Steyn has only missed 2 kicks at goal in test matches this season.
I know. And he's distributing the ball. He's running with it. He's loving it.
Christian Leilofano hasn't missed a kick at goal in his test career.
He's solid, eh?
Yeah. But that's all he's getting.
There's an option at 10 if you really want to get rid of someone.
Well, anyway, time will tell. But I mean, it was 60 minutes of strangling and abused. Picked up a bang, Goody Oosthuizen try, and then traded penalties, as we said. And then cue the feeding frenzy. And Willie Leroux made 1, scored 1. If anyone's deserved a Bok try, he's deserved 1 because he's made plenty in his, what are we now?
And he's all over the park.
6 test matches in.
He's left-hand side, right-hand side, having a little look-see, joining the line. It's been great to watch.
Pace of Brian Abana? I mean, who did he run away from there?
I don't know. But
Falau.
Yeah.
It was. He ran away from Falau on the wing before that chip and then de Villiers to score the try after the Jean-Andre Kruger collection.
Yes! How was Kruger taking that ball? Thanks very much. I'm just going to take this ball at first slip.
I was sitting on the arm of my couch.
Were you enjoying it?
Shout, come on! Anyway, let's move on to prior in the day. The Kiwis played a weird game in the rain in Hamilton, as far as I'm concerned.
That is very well put. A weird game.
Because they eventually did win 3 tries to 1, 28-13, but they dominated the Argentinian line-out. And in the pissing rain in Hamilton, they tried to run everything, kept making errors, when surely logic dictated, even from where I was sitting on my couch in Cape Town, to kick the ball for the corners and win the line-outs from a side that's struggling at line-out time in their 22. It made no bleeding sense whatsoever, mate.
I know.
Anyway, Aaron Smith with a double, also fortuitous tries in and around that stuff. Leguizamon with 1 as well, which is also from turnover ball, well used by the RGs, let's be honest. But yeah, I've been saying it all year. I haven't been convinced by this All Black side. Yes, they've won and yes, they've been winning well, but there's been something there that just that and then I said it after the big win against the Pumas in Joburg that the Boks won't lose a rugby championship game, and I stand by that. And I know that I'd had a few beers and I threw out the 20 points in both games.
That down, bud.
20 points in both games. Sorry, what was the points differential this weekend?
I don't know, what was it?
26.
Okay, you are putting your 20 down this weekend.
I have to.
Okay. I tell you, I was having that discussion as well with a few guys, and it's not the greatest All Black side. They are cracks.
And it's aging.
There are cracks there. There are youngsters that are coming that are inexperienced. They're putting them in key positions. The side's beatable. And there are 3 sides. I actually was mistaken. I thought there were only 2 sides. My initial statement was there are only 2 sides that can go to New Zealand and are not scared of the All Blacks. That believe they can win there because they've done it. And that is South Africa and Australia. Australia definitely not going to be doing that this year. But the French won there in 2009 or 2010.
Yeah.
The French won
test.
I completely forgot about that. That is the big thing, is to go there and win. And once you can do that...
They also won another one in the 90s with the Jean-Luc Sardinet try from the ends of the earth.
Can't remember.
Google that shit, dude.
Okay.
From behind their own try line to win the game.
I'll have a look. I'll put up on my blog if I can find it. But that's the thing. And we believe we can go there and win. I don't care where we're playing. We can go there and win.
And here's the other aspect. The Boks are unchanged after that big performance. The All Blacks, Richie McCaw is out for 5 weeks with an ankle injury after Charlie Faumuina decided to land on him.
As you do.
Charlie got dropped. Apparently, it's not because he injured McCaw. Literally, that's the quote in the press release.
It's a lie.
But yeah, they've made 5 changes. Ma Nonu obviously back from injury.
Worries me that kid. Ma Nonu in a black jersey is...
So he scored 3 tries in 12 tests against the Box.
Doesn't matter. He's another man when he plays for the All Blacks, especially against South Africa.
Aaron Smith's the weak link under pressure as far as I'm concerned. He was all over the place this season with the Highlanders playing behind a pack that was old and going backwards, and he's got a pack that's old and could be going backwards on Saturday. Then the other changes, obviously Sam Cane comes in. Liam Messam replaces Stephen Lutawa, who I think is unlucky, but because of the fact that Messam's got more experience and Cane and Lutawa with Reed, just there wasn't enough experience in the back row given the monsters that are coming to play in their backyard. And then Owen Frank's back from injury. Dane Coles at 2. Huge call.
I have no words. I don't rate him in the first place. I don't even think he should be wearing
sure, but there is no one else.
But
Andrew Hoare is 35 and they reckon retiring after the rugby championship. Kevin Mialamo is 34 and hamstring injury, calf injuries.
Saturday. I'm
Yes.
talking about
No.
Saturday.
But at the end of the day, this is where you've got to give the All Blacks some credit, right? They're giving a guy that is being earmarked as the next one in line in terms of he's the best of the rest outside of the 2 aging hookers. Let's throw him in the deep end and see how he goes. We wouldn't do that.
Not for a game that's this important.
It's not that important. It's a rugby championship. It's important to us as South Africans. They're just laughing. They haven't lost to us since 2009, for fuck's sakes. Yeah. The Australia-Argentina. I'm struggling with this one. Genia dropped. Ben Moen to captain Australia for the first time in his career. I think he's 6 tests in. Cooper holds on to his spot. Ben Alexander comes back into the front row. I mean, you can't really judge any of them from the weekend because they just didn't have the opportunity to do anything.
That's the only thing
other than knock on.
Yeah,
I mean, the honey badger had dropped everything he touched.
Yeah. The only thing they have in their favour is the fact they were so badly outplayed that you can't actually drop them. Conversely,
the RGs have made 5 changes, but they're bringing back experience. Felipe Contepomi comes back in. They, guaranteed targeted this game.
Yeah.
Knew that going to play the All Blacks, they might struggle, but they want to get their first win in the Rugby Championship. Perth is not a happy hunting ground for the Australian rugby side.
No.
It's the only place they'd lost to South Africa in the modern era until last weekend. And yeah, I'm torn in terms of the result because you know what will happen. The Aussies will bounce back and thrash them.
Argentina by 9.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I meant to say it's Australia by 9. Sorry.
Really?
Yes, Australia by 9.
That's such a brave call. I'm going RGs by 1. True story. A shock into silence.
No.
I called the RGs last year as well when they played in Australia, and they came close, but not close enough.
So you didn't get it right then?
No, but I'm going to eventually. And then obviously I have to go with the Bokke by 20.
I don't really.
15 picks up a margin point, and if we win the test, we are top of the log in terms of rankings in World Rugby.
Do we move to number 1 if we win the test on Saturday?
It's all up in the air. It's a final.
New Zealand by 4.
Okay.
The reason why I'm making that call is that playing at home, I'm a bit tentative about it, and
last week you called the Wallabies by 2, so it's a good omen for me.
Don't worry. It's points I don't mind giving to Super Brew, believe me.
And just the curry beer go.
Just want to quickly touch on something. Hoodburu sent us a message and wanted to find out. I just wanted to talk about some head-to-heads. Ben Smith, Villy Leroux.
I'm
talking
excited.
about 2 players that are hot at the moment. Those 2 guys are up against each other, and the other is Kieran Reid versus Dwayne Vermeulen. That's going to be an epic battle.
Yeah, problem is Smith and Villaroo don't face each other. It's Habana on Smith.
Ooh, okay.
And Villy on Xavier.
That's going to be interesting. I tell you what's going to be good fun. Now that we've got Luatua on the bench, when he comes off, he's an explosive player, and him coming off the bench, I hope we just make our changes at the right time too.
Yeah, and Bucky's agrees. We're going to wipe the floor with them. Going to hand them their ass on a plate in their own backyard.
Who?
He's gone by 12.
Oh.
Curry Cup, quickly, predictions. Cheetahs, Lions. Cheetahs were dominated by the Bulls, but they are playing at home and they are unchanged. The Lions ebbing and flowing. You would have thought after their comeback against Province that they'd walk all over Griquas, but they were lucky to win it based on some poor officiating.
Cheetahs 12.
Cheetahs 6. Griquas Sharks by 15.
Sharks 19.
Bulls Province at Loftus. It's time to end the hoodoo and smash those lighties off the park.
Hoodoo was ended last year. I will never forget Nick Groomy went there last year and won. The boys went there last year and won. Western Province.
I think it was the semi though.
They won during the... I know Province beat the Bulls at Loftus.
Anyway, the Bulls pack dominated the Province pack at Newlands in the first round this season, and it was a bunch of lighties against the old hands. And I think the old hands want to go there and just dish out some retribution. I'm going to go with a 1-point Province win again. Without scoring 4 tries.
Bulls by 5.
Sharky, it's been awesome. Dwayne Heath from SA Club Rugby and project manager for the Community Cup. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the rugby this weekend, kids, and please do not send me messages during the game. I'm turning my phone off because I have to watch it delayed, and then I'm going to tweet like I'm watching it live, which is going to freak all of you people out.
The best. But thank you, it was great, and I hope you get to watch the game and stay in your bubble before the game, my friend.
I'm going to.
It's going to be key.
Folks, you've been listening to Drive Maul on Loud Radio. We're Blokes Judge Rugby. We'll chat to you next week. Enjoy the rugby.